Hello and welcome to the biology topic nutrition, lesson 2, nutrition. We are going to take a look in this video about why nutrition is important and the different ways it can impact your life negatively if you don't get the correct nutrition through your balanced, healthy diet. The main reason you need to eat is to fuel your body. Because you're constantly using energy, and that's even when you are asleep. When you're asleep, your heart is still beating, your body is still respiring, so energy is still required. Less energy is required, but it is still needed nonetheless. Now, if you eat more food than you need, obviously you're not going to use it all, you're not going to convert it all, you're not going to break it down, which means you will store it as excess fat. And gradually you will increase your weight. Now, when we increase our weight, if we increase it by too much, it will lead to obesity. And obesity will then lead to other health problems. So nutrition is also important because it can prevent deficiency diseases. If you're deficient in a particular mineral or vitamin, then it can impact you in a certain way. So there are many deficiency diseases. We're going to look at a couple of them, but it's all to do with when you don't get enough of that vitamin or that mineral. So it could be a deficiency in vitamin A, it could be a deficiency in calcium, for example. So we've got 4 examples here. Okay, iron deficiency. We mentioned it in the last lesson because we talked about anemia. Now, if you are deficient in iron, you are going to have less red blood cells, and red blood cells are essential because they carry oxygen around your body, which is needed for respiration. If you've got less red blood cells, it also is affecting their ability to carry oxygen as well. So their ability to do that decreases, which means it's going to impact it in that way as well. If you have a deficiency of vitamin D, this affects your immune system, so you are going to be more susceptible to catching colds and getting infections. Okay, it reduces the function of your immune system because vitamin D is good for bolstering your immune system. Now, a lack of vitamin C, I think I mentioned in lesson 1, can cause scurvy. Okay, and calcium deficiency will cause soft bones, known as rickets in children, and it can also lead to other problems in later life. Now, one of the ways we can look at nutrition is also looking at the food labels. In this example here, we're looking at specifically where we get our energy from. So you've got this food label here. It's taken off some all butter shortbread. So some biscuits, okay, and you can see they've used the traffic light system. So got 2 things highlighted in red and 2 things highlighted in amber. So the red is the fat and the amber is carbohydrates that are sugars and also the salt. You've got to remember that your energy requirements depend on your age, how much you weigh, and how active you are, so how much exercise you do. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be going to the gym all the time. It means how active you are, whether you do a lot or a little. Okay, and the food labels can tell you how much energy there is in a certain type of food. So on this one here, it's above the 2 red bars, okay? This packet of shortbread biscuits, look, I've enlarged that a bit for you, contains 436 kilojoules per biscuit. So we measure energy in joules. Once we're getting large amounts, a little bit like grams, we go to kilograms. The same with joules, we go to kilojoules, okay? So 1 biscuit contains 436 kilojoules, okay? We take a look at another one. This one's of a loaf of bread. Okay, so looking at here, it contains, for 1 slice, contains 404 kilojoules. Okay, and it also shows you on this one the recommended, so it says RI for an average adult. Now that is purely an average adult. Okay, you've got to be careful with that you don't it's just recommended, okay? So be careful, and these amounts are different for men and for women, okay? Because of our size. 1 slice of bread is 404 kilojoules, so 2 slices of bread would be 808 kilojoules. And you need to be able to read that information and answer questions on it, okay? So that links really nicely to the last lesson that we did, talking about the nutrients. Now this is important, and it looks at the food labels. So what you need to go and do now is have a look at the worksheet and complete it, re-watch the lesson if you need to.